my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a review on the new Lancôme Miracle Cushion Foundation. So I received this little set that comes with the foundation and a little pamphlet that shows you a lot of the information on it. And I just want to remind you guys that just because I was given this from Lancôme, that does not mean that I'm going to lie to you guys and tell you guys false information on this. I'm always genuine and 100% honest when I do my reviews, so I just want you guys to know that you can trust me and know that my feedback is going to be 100% genuine, and I would never lie about a product just because it was sent to me. I did not pay for it. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys some information on the product. So pretty much what it is, it's a liquid foundation, but it comes in this like pressed compact, which is pretty innovative in my opinion. So what you do is you can kind of like take this and dip your sponge or a brush in it, and then you can start applying the foundation. And one thing that like they're kind of like showing on this is that the fact that you can like travel with this easier than a full like liquid foundation. Because like if you look at a liquid foundation bottle, this is the Sephora one that I just filmed the video on a couple weeks ago. I will link it below. This is the Sephora liquid foundation. This is the Lancôme thin one. So you can just see how the difference in the size is. So obviously which one is going to be easier to slip into your purse or backpack. This one. But yeah, so what this foundation is, let's see, let me look at my cheat sheet. So it's a boost of hydration for comfort. It is just supposed to be a very, very like luminizing, hydrating foundation, but it's supposed to look like nothing but your skin. I'm going to read to you guys a little bit about what it says on this, just because this is my first time playing with the foundation, so I honestly don't know too much about it, but it says, it's a liquid trapped in a cushion inside a compact with the perfect puff applicator that smooths, hydrates, and brightens, leaving you with a dewy glow. And then some other information it says is, we took an airtight compact and a cushion that has over 800,000 pores and suspended liquid inside so that you can take your liquid with you anywhere. What does it say? I'm trying to see if there's anything else worth sharing with you guys. It says it has ester oil and glycerin in it, which are known to be hydrating. And then it just gives you some application methods where it shows you how pretty much it's just, this is an obvious statement, but it's just obviously better to start putting your foundation in the center of your face in your T-zone area and then blending it out. But yeah, I'm super excited to put this foundation on and give you guys my feedback. So if you guys are interested in watching me use this foundation, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so welcome to my face. Before I put any of the foundation on, I'm going to prep my skin with the primer from Lancôme. This is the Visioneer 1 Minute Blur Primer. It's going to do a lot of mattifying and pore filling, so it's going to be an amazing primer for filling in pores and smoothing out the T-zone area. So primers like this, you really want to like squirt onto your fingers and kind of warm it up in your fingers before you apply it, because primers that fill in pores and are for oil control work better if you kind of like heat it up and then literally just like press it into your skin like this. And I've already put a moisturizer on, because you always want to put a moisturizer on obviously before you put any cosmetics on your face. So as I showed you guys before, this is how my foundation is. I got this little like sample tester size, and I'm almost positive that this shade's going to be very dark on me because it's 250, and I would think that I would be a little bit lighter than that. So just ignore it if it's going to be really dark, but I'm going to show you guys how the little applicator looks. So it comes in this little pressed little pot like this with this, I don't know if I can get it off, the sponge that I'm going to use to apply it, but it's like glued on. Ugh. Okay, so this is the sponge that I'm going to use to apply it, and then the liquid foundation actually comes in this little pressed cushion. So the thing that is really kind of innovative about this is that you're getting your liquid foundation but like on the go, so you can throw it into your purse or backpack and you're only carrying this little baby size. Now that I already have a moisturizer and primer on, I'm going to go ahead and start applying the foundation. And this is going to be my first time playing with this foundation. I have not felt it on my hands or anything yet. So I have the little applicator on my fingers like this, the sponge that it comes with. And literally all I'm going to do is kind of lightly dip it in here and then just start stippling onto my face. And just remember though, the way that you apply it determines how much coverage you get. If you want a lot of coverage, you want to kind of stipple it like this, but if you don't need a lot of coverage like I do, because I have acne obviously, you can kind of rub it more, but I like to tap it and stipple it so that it builds coverage and gives me the coverage that I need. So yeah, I'm going to lightly dip it in here. This is going to be my first time, so I'm going to show you guys my impression on it. Oh, you actually don't have to dip it a lot. Like I just lightly tapped it and got all of that liquid. So I'm going to start here in the T-zone area because it's best to kind of start applying your liquid foundation here and then kind of blending it out just so you don't build too much coverage or put too much liquid on your face. So let's see, let's start probably right here. I'm going to start stippling it. As you can see with the little amount I put on, you can't tell that much. Let me see if I can add a little bit more on the forehead area to show you guys the coverage. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. So I grabbed a little bit more on my sponge just so I could actually apply more, not a little bit. And it actually feels very, very lightweight on the skin. And as you can see, you can still see my redness a little bit, but it is kind of concealing it. I'm probably not going to use a concealer today just because I want to see what the coverage I can get with this by itself is going to be. So for this demonstration, I'm going to wear this by itself with a powder, but I'm not going to put on any concealer for my acne or blemishes. But oh my gosh, so far it feels like it has a really good like water base. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have like anything on my skin yet. And the coverage is definitely buildable because I'm seeing that as I'm kind of applying more, the coverage is kind of building higher and higher. And I'm kind of getting a little bit happier with coverage as I add more. And this big zit right here, I don't know if I'm able to cover. But whatever. Oh, this is really pretty. Actually, I think this is a good spot on color for me. I'm not noticing any discoloration. So I'm going out to dinner tonight with my family because my cousin and his wife are in town from California and they brought their kids with them. And I am meeting, or I'm not meeting, I met her already, but I am seeing my baby cousin Piper for the first time. She's about, I think like 6 weeks. Well, probably more than 6 weeks. I think she's a couple months old now, I don't know. But, so I'm not going to put a lot of makeup on today just because I'm going to a family dinner. I don't want to look like a drag queen. Yeah, so like I said, just my opinion so far, it looks so beautiful and natural on the skin. My only concern is, I don't think it's going to be enough coverage for my personal liking. Just because anybody that knows me knows that full coverage or go home, like, that's my motto. Like, I'd rather have a full coverage than a light coverage. But it's actually looking very natural so far, so it's good that it looks like a natural kind of like hydrated dewy finish. It's not mattifying at all, which I'm kind of liking so far. So if anybody is looking for a new kind of like hydrating foundation that has a buildable coverage, this is going to be it for you. Just don't get this expecting it to have a matte finish or a full coverage. Just because it seems like it is on the lighter side with coverage, but you can build it. And it seems like if you have very, very oily skin, you're gonna want to use a mattifying primer or just a mattifying setting powder on top of it. But so far so good with this foundation. Okay, so I stopped filming for a second and I went and kind of looked around my house at different mirrors and different lightings. And this foundation looks so beautiful on my skin, but as you can see, you can still see. Why am I stuttering so much? Why am I getting nervous? It's like I'm by myself right now. I need to calm down. But what I was trying to say is that as you can see, you can still see a lot of my like red dots and like acne right here. So what I've been thinking about doing is maybe like not using the sponge and trying it with my Sigma F80 because I usually will always like to buff my foundation with this after where I have all my facial hair just so that there isn't like lines or streaks. So for demonstrational purposes, I'm going to apply some more with my Sigma F80 just to show you guys what type of like different coverage you can get with this if you use a brush. So with the brush I'm just kind of going like this and just kind of rubbing it in, and then I'm going to do a little bit more and just use more of a stippling motion. One thing I'm noticing so far is that the brush is building a lot more coverage. So if you need a fuller coverage, I would recommend definitely using a brush. But if you have beautiful skin and your skin doesn't have a lot of texture, this sponge will be totally just fine. Because this sponge will give you a lot more color correction, but it won't be able to build a lot of coverage for people that have texture like me, where you need the coverage for the texture of the acne. I'm really loving this foundation so far. It seriously feels like nothing's on my skin, but when I look in the mirror, it makes me feel a lot better about the appearance of my skin. It gives me a little bit more color correction, gives me more radiance, makes my skin look, you know, just doughy and hydrated and all Gucci Gucci. Okay, so I'm not really happy with the coverage right here where I have a blemish, so I'm going to take a little bit of concealer from Lancôme and put a little bit of it on top just so I can add more coverage, because I'm sorry, but this zit has got to go. I'm so grossed out by looking at it right now. Hold on, let me get this girl covered. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, you're honestly gonna have to use a concealer with it to cover up acne if you have acne, because I just didn't feel like I was satisfied with the coverage on my acne parts, but obviously everywhere else where my skin is a little bit clearer and nicer, I was satisfied with the coverage because I didn't need a lot more coverage there. So as you can see, this little bitch right here is covered up more, so now I'm gonna put a little bit more of the foundation on in that area just to make sure that the color is all uniformed, because I think that the concealer I have is a little bit darker. So I'm just gonna make sure everything's blended in. So since I'm doing a demo on this foundation by itself, I'm not gonna put another powder foundation on top of it because that's kind of like cheating. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of my Coty Airspun to lock in and set it, and just work a little bit to help mattify me for all my oil production. And as I told you guys in my last video, when you guys watch me put on the Coty Airspun powder, I obviously put on a lot because I have very oily and greasy skin, but if you are opposite of me and have really, really dry skin, I would definitely use Laura Mercier's translucent powder because it'll do the same thing as this by mattifying you and locking in your makeup, but it won't dry you out. It'll actually give your skin more of a radiant glow as opposed to like this powder that just makes you look like a mattifying porcelain doll, which is honestly the look I'm going for. Okay, so now that I have my translucent powder on, my foundation, and a little bit of spot concealing, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera, because if I was to do it on camera right now, this video would be 45 hours long. So I'm going to step off camera and do it and listen to some music and party, and then once I'm finished, I will click the record button again and I'll show you guys the final look with this foundation. And yeah, so I'll be right back. This is why it takes me 4 hours to do my makeup, because I cannot focus. So I'm finished with my face, and this is how it looks now that I have all my eyebrows, mascara, blush, and bronzer on. I'm seriously super impressed with this foundation still. It feels like I have nothing on my skin. I can tell this foundation is going to be very popular for summer because of how like quick and easy it is to put on and how it feels like nothing. It's going to be perfect for people that sweat or are outside a lot, because you don't have to like have like a thick layer onto the beautiful still, if that makes sense. So I didn't even have to use that much. I think I dipped my brush slash sponge in here like 3 to 4 times to get this amount of coverage. So as you can see, you can like use this for a long time. Now I think this is the normal full size. I'm not sure what I was sent. I don't know if this was like a travel size or just like a tester size, but I think this is the like actual full size. So it seems like there's a lot of product in here. Um, but yeah, so just buildable coverage, a little bit more on the hydrating side, has more of a water-based. So for my personal preference, I love the foundation. But yeah, even if you are oily, I also recommend this foundation. I would just put a translucent powder on top of it, or if you wanted to, you can mix it with your Teint Idol from Lancôme, which is their mattifying foundation. But also for anybody that's going to be asking me, the mascara that I'm wearing is the Hypnose Drama from Lancôme. I used to love the Granidos, like that was my favorite from Lancôme, but then when I got this one, this has become my new Lancôme favorite because, like, look at my, like, eyelashes right now. This literally gives me such a false lash look, which is the look that I'm going for. But if anybody hasn't tried the Hypnose Drama, you have to try that. But yeah, that was my review on this foundation. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you guys have any feedback on this foundation, or if you've tried it yet, let me know in the comments below because I want to hear what other people think about it with different skin types and stuff like that than I have. So leave me some feedback below if you've tried this or if you want to try it. And also give me some ideas on future videos that you would like to see. And yeah, so just make sure you're following me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you guys can keep up with me and I can keep up with you back. But yeah, until my next video, I will see you later.